It's week 33 of a year of wisdom. Let's get to reading. Day 228. Job 19 and 20. Then Job answered and said, "How long will you torment me and crush me with words? These 10 times you have disgraced me. You are not ashamed that you have attacked me. And what is more, if I have truly erred, my error remains with me. If indeed you must magnify yourselves against me, and you must let my disgrace argue against me, know then that God has wronged me and has surrounded me with his net. Look, I cry out violence, but I'm not answered. I cry out, but there is no justice. He has walled up my way so that I cannot pass, and he has set darkness upon my paths. He's taken my glory from me, and he's removed the crown of my head. He's broken me down all around, and I'm gone. And he has uprooted my hope like a tree, and he has kindled his wrath against me, and he has counted me as one of his foes. His troops have come together and have thrown up their rampart against me, and have encamped around my tent. He has removed my kinsfolk from me, and my acquaintances have only turned aside from me. My relatives have failed, and my close friends have forgotten me. The sojourners in my house and my slave women count me as a stranger. I've become a foreigner in their eyes. I call to my servant, but he does not answer. I must personally plead with him. My breath is repulsive to my wife, and I'm loathsome to my own family. Little boys also despise me. When I rise, then they talk against me. All my intimate friends abhor me, and these whom I have loved have turned against me. My bones cling to my skin and my flesh, and I have escaped by the skin of my teeth. Pity me, you my friends, for God's hand has touched me. Why do you pursue me like God, and are not satisfied with my flesh? Oh, that my words could be written down. Oh, that they could be inscribed in a scroll, that with a pen of iron and with lead they might be engraved on a rock forever. But I myself know that my Redeemer is alive, and at the last he will stand up upon the earth. And after my skin has been thus destroyed, but from my flesh I will see God, whom I will see for myself, and whom my eyes will see, and not a stranger. My heart faints within me. If you say, "How will we persecute him?" and "The root of the trouble is found in me," be afraid for yourselves because of the sword, for wrath brings punishment by the sword, so that you may know that there is judgment. Then Zophar the Naamathite answered and said, "Therefore my disquieting thoughts bring me back for the sake of my inward excitement. I hear discipline that insults me, and a spirit beyond my understanding answers me. Did you know this from of old, since the setting of the human being on earth, that the rejoicing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the godless lasts only a moment? Even though his stature mounts up to the heavens and his head reaches to the clouds, he will perish forever like his dung. Those who have seen him will say, 'Where is he?' He will fly away like a dream, and they will not find him, and he will be chased away like a vision of the night. The eye that saw him will not see him again, and his place will no longer behold him. His children will seek favors from the poor, and his hands will return his wealth. His bones were full of vigor, but it will lie down with him on the dust. Though wickedness tastes sweet in his mouth, and he hides it under his tongue, though he spares it and does not let it go, and holds it back in the midst of his palate, in his bowels his food is turned, the venom of horned vipers is within him. He swallows riches, but he vomits them up. God drives them out of his stomach. He will suck the poison of horned vipers. The viper's tongue will kill him. He will not enjoy the streams, the torrents of honey and curds. Returning the products of his toil he will not swallow. According to the profit of his trade he will not enjoy. For he is oppressed, he has abandoned the poor, he has seized a house but did not build it, because he has not known satisfaction in his stomach. He lets nothing escape that he desires. There's nothing left after he's eaten. Therefore his prosperity will not endure. In the fullness of his excess, he will be in distress. All of his misery's power will come upon him. When his stomach fills up, God will send his burning anger upon him, and he will let it rain down upon him as his food. He will flee from an iron weapon, but an arrow of bronze will pierce him. He draws it forth, and it comes from his body, and the glittering point comes from his gallbladder. Terrors come upon him. Total darkness is hidden for his treasures, and unfanned fire will devour him. The remnant will be consumed in his tent. The heavens will reveal his guilt, and the earth will rise up against him. The products of his house will be carried away, like gushing waters on the day of his wrath. This is a wicked human being's portion from God, and the inheritance of his decree from God. Proverbs 16. To mortals belong the plans of the heart, but from Yahweh comes the answer of the tongue. All the ways of a man are pure in his own eyes, but Yahweh weighs the spirit. Commit your work to Yahweh, and your plans will be established. All Yahweh has made is for his purpose, and even the wicked for the day of trouble. An abomination of Yahweh are all who are arrogant of heart. Rest assured he will not go unpunished. By loyalty and faithfulness, iniquity will be covered over, and by fear of Yahweh one turns from evil. When the ways of a man are pleasing to Yahweh, even his enemies he will cause to make peace with him. Better is a little with righteousness than great income with no justice. The mind of a person will plan his ways, and Yahweh will direct his steps. A decision is upon the lips of a king. In judgment his mouth will not sin. A balance and scales of justice belong to Yahweh. All the weights of the bag are his work. An abomination to kings is doing evil, for by righteousness the throne will be established. The delight of kings are the lips of righteousness, and he who speaks what is upright he will love. The wrath of a king is a messenger of death, but one who is wise will appease it. In the light of the face of the king there is life, and his favor is like a cloud of spring rain. Getting wisdom, how much better than gold? And getting understanding, it is chosen over silver. The highway of the upright, it turns from evil. He who guards himself keeps his way. Before destruction comes pride, and before a fall a haughty spirit. Better a lowly spirit with the poor than dividing the spoil with the proud. He who is attentive to a matter will find goodness, and he who trusts in Yahweh his own happiness. The wise of heart is called perceptive, but he who is pleasant of lips will increase persuasiveness. The fountain of life is wisdom for its owner, but the instruction of fools is folly. The heart of the wise will make his mouth judicious, and upon his lips it will add persuasiveness. Pleasant sayings are a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and healing to the bones. There is a way that seems upright to a man, but its end is the way of death. The life of a worker works for him, for his hunger urges him. A man of wickedness concocts evil, and his lips are like a scorching fire. A person of perversity will spread dissent, and he who whispers separates a close friend. A person of violence will entice his neighbor and cause him to walk on a way that is not good. He who winks his eyes does so in order to plan perverse things. He who purses his lips will bring evil to pass. A crown of glory is gray hair. By a righteous life it is gained. He who is slow to anger is better than him who is mighty, and he who controls his spirit than him who captures a city. The lot will be cast into the lap, but all of its decisions are from Yahweh. And as always, thank you so much for being here today. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button right there and click the bell if you want notifications. And if you wouldn't mind, hit that like button for me. And I will see you tomorrow. Maranatha.
I'm standing at the crossroads. I'm lost without a clue. I need a big pink neon sign to show me what to do. I thank you, Lord, It glorifies you when you're the only answer. I praise you, Lord, for holding what's too much for me. And I'm amazed by you, Lord, because nothing's too big and nothing's too small to lay at your feet.